Okay, let's go over our practice for solving two-step equations. First one, 9x minus 21 equals 60. Well, the first step is to add or subtract. The only place I can add or subtract is minus 21. I can do the opposite, the inverse operation, and add 21. And remember, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. Why couldn't I do this one first? Why couldn't I do this first? Well, it's because it's multiplying. And we know from our rules, the first thing that we need to do is get rid of anything that is not connected to the x. And then step 2 is to get rid of that coefficient, the one that's touching the x, that's keeping it from coming over, multiplying and dividing. So a negative plus a positive of the same number, they're opposites, which means that they equal 0. So all that's left on that side is 9x equals, and 60 plus 21 is 81. Now we're ready for step 2. We're going to get this coefficient away from our variable. So this coefficient of a positive 9. It's 9 times x, so I'm going to do the inverse operation, which is dividing. So I'm going to divide by 9 on both sides. 9 divided by 9 is 1, so I'm left with a positive 1x. And 81 divided by 9, well, let's see, we know our nines trick. Let's put down the 8th finger. What does that equal? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72. Nope, that doesn't work. Let's try the 9th finger. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81. That works. So it's my 9th finger down, so it's 9 times 9. Remember, this is a nines trick. You can do this for all your nines. So our answer is 9. Okay, let's try number 2. Negative 2x plus 5 equals 18. The first thing we can do is add or subtract. Which number can we add or subtract right now? Good. I hope that you said the positive or the plus 5, positive 5. So we're going to do the inverse operation, which is minus 5 on both sides. A positive and a negative of the same number cancel out to equal 0. All that's left on this side is negative 2 times x equals, and 18 minus 5 is 13. Now, second step is to get rid of the coefficient from the variable. It's multiplying, so we're going to divide. And we have to divide by negative 2 on both sides, because remember, we want x to be positive. So the negative 2 divided by negative 2 turns into a positive 1. So it's just x on that side. 13 divided by 2, well, it gives us, I'm going to give you a decimal. It gives you 6, and you could have put 1/2. And it's negative, or you could have put x equals 6.5. If you do fractions, you could do that. If you know decimals, you could do that. Remember, 2 goes into 13. You're going to do long division. So 13 divided by 2. Remember, we don't need to bring that negative into this problem. We already know the answer is going to be negative. 2 goes into 13. 6 times, that's 12. 6 times 2 is 12. We subtract, and we have 1 left over. So 6 and 1/2 is where we get the fraction. If we kept going, we would put our decimal and keep on going. And 2 goes into 10 5 times, and then it would be done 6.5. So that's how we get both of those, all right? And we'll talk about that more. But this is what you should have had when you turned your improper fraction into a mixed number. Now, number 3 is a little bit trickier, a little bit more of a challenge. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 2 from both sides, which I already said in the other video, the notes video, because we have to add or subtract. A positive and a negative of the same number cancel out. So all that we're left with on this side is negative x over 4 equals 10 minus 2 is 8. Now, we're going to do the reciprocal, which means we are going to multiply a negative 4, because it's negative and negative makes it positive x in the end. This ends up coming out as 4x over 4, right? Because 4 times x and 1 times 4. This is what the fraction would give us. equals 8. But we know 4 and 4, sorry, and I should be multiplying from both sides, so don't forget to do that. Multiplying 8 times negative 4. I just want to show you this fraction part though. So 4 over 4 equals a positive 1. So x is by itself. And 8 times a negative 4 is a negative, because it's a positive times a negative, and 32. All right, go ahead and do your reflection and keep going on your work.